These are the top 5 worst credit cards to have because they will ruin your credit. I have been in the credit repair industry for over a decade and a half, and every single one of those clients, I have focused on steering them away from crappy credit cards. A lot of people think that, well, if I don't like the credit card, I'll just close it. It's not a big deal, right? Well, actually, it's a huge deal. So I'm gonna break down this video into 3 very important parts that you do not want to miss. Part 1, we're gonna go over the top 5 worst credit cards of all times that you need to stay away from. Part 2, if you decide to close this account, how is it going to affect your actual credit profile and your credit score? Part 3, I'll answer the big question, what should you do if you do have any of these crappy credit cards? This is not financial advice or legal advice, and I am not an attorney. Now let's get into this list. Coming in at number 5 is First Progress. If you go to the website, you can see they cut straight to the chase. You go right straight into the application process because they don't want you to know what's on the back end. Now you're going to need at least a minimum of a $200 deposit to even get started. Now the verbiage is very misleading also because it says, get a First Progress card and earn 1% cashback rewards. Now, they're not telling you that that's not every single actual Progress credit card. So we're gonna have to give them $200 to open the account, and it's most likely gonna be a $200, $225, or $250 credit limit. Then they're gonna hit us with a 19.24% APR, which is pretty high for a crappy credit card like this, but I mean, it's not shocker. You know, we don't really pay attention to APRs because at the end of the day, you should not be paying any interest, but at the end of the day, it does matter. Now, if you scroll down, you're gonna see that there is a $39 annual fee. They're gonna hit you with every single other fee that they possibly can. A late fee at $41, return payment at $30, and then if you do any kind of cash advance, it's either $10 or 3% of the amount of each cash advance. You should never do any type of cash advance with these types of credit cards. Now, this next card on the list, Merrick Bank, is a bonus card that did not make the list. It got stuck between number 4 and number 5. But I felt it was important that I brought up this card because it is a very predatory card and there's a lot of serious issues with it. So Merrick Bank offers you 2 different types of credit cards. Of course, the classic secured and then the regular one where it's not secured. The interesting part about this is I could not find the credit card disclosure form anywhere on their site. They hid it really well. They hid it so well that you cannot see the disclosures until you actually apply for the credit card. But don't you worry your little heart because I went digging and I got it for you. So let's take a look at their actual fees and their rates. So their interest rate is at a whopping 22.70%, which is absolutely very high. And then you scroll down to the actual setup and maintenance fees. They're gonna charge you $36 for the first year, and then they're gonna charge you $3 per month thereafter. That's pretty crazy. So you'll start off, let's say you start off with a $200 limit, you're actually only gonna have $164. At least they disclose that to you, but you have to go digging in order to find that because it's nowhere on the front of their website. And of course, they have a late fee of $40 and a return payment fee of $40. Now, the thing about this credit card also to know that their customer service is absolutely horrendous, and on top of their bad customer service, if you decide you don't use the credit card for very often, and then all of a sudden you said, you know what, I'm gonna buy something that's like $100. Well, what we have seen is Merrick Bank will decline your transaction because guess what? They've never seen you spend that much money, so it's gotta be fraud, right? Basically making the credit card useless because you can't use it unless you consistently use it all the time. Coming in at number 4 is the Indigo credit card. Now, this website looks like it's a lot of fun and it's really intriguing and it makes me want to get this credit card, but don't do that. Don't you do it because this is a clear trap. Anywhere on this website, it's not telling you anything about any type of fees, any monthly membership fees, any yearly annual fees. It tells you nothing until you go to actually apply for the credit card. Let's take a look at what they're actually hiding. So right here is the breakdown. So the annual interest rate is going to be 35.9% interest. That is outrageously high, possibly one of the highest I've seen so far. Now, here's the best part about this card. Well, it's not the best part, but you know what I'm trying to say. The setup and maintenance fee. So based on the credit line of $700, your initial available credit will only be about $525. So they're telling you they're gonna hit you with a bunch of fees right out the gate. Now, the monthly fee is gonna be $0 for the first year, but then $150 annually thereafter. So they're gonna break it down to $12.50 each month. So the first year, of course, they got you on the hook, and now you don't have to pay any monthly fees, which is great, which should be pretty standard. But what other credit card charges you a monthly fee? That's pretty crazy. So $12.50 is what they're going to charge you every month just for using the credit card, or not using it, or just having it. But then they're going to hit you with an annual fee of $175 for the first year, and then $49 every year after. And then of course, cash advance fees 5%, and then late fees are $41, over the limit fees are $41, and return payment is $41. So again, these are all filled with harvesting fees. Harvesting fees are basically any type of fee that they can hit you with, so you basically wind up losing it and the credit card company is winning. Because look, they're charging you this outrageous 35.9% interest, and then they're going to hit you with the monthly and an annual fee. I really don't understand how these companies are even in business. Coming in scorching hot at number 3 is the Premier Bank Card. It used to be called First Premier, and for whatever reason they changed it to Premier. It's the same company. Now the funny thing, this credit card is showing the same vibes as the Indigo card. It's a lot of fun. There's a beautiful family that's playing around, and the young lady is covering her dad's eyes, and it's making it seem like, I wonder why she's covering his eyes, so he doesn't have to see all the fees that they're going to charge him. That's why. I will say this, at least Premier Bank Card is going to show you exactly how they're going to rip you off right up front, and they don't make you chase it down and try to find it anywhere else. So it's funny because it says best for credit builders. I mean, every credit card is a credit builder, right? Or people with no credit or are new to credit. If you're new to credit, you should not be getting a Premier Bank Card. This is one of the first credit cards I ever had in my life, and it was the biggest regret I ever made once I figured out that it was not a Premier credit card. It was one of the worst credit cards to possibly have. And guess who actually convinced me to get it? My actual friends over at Credit Karma, because when I was 26, 27 years old, I had no idea that Credit Karma was lying to me, and it got me to actually get this credit card, and I was stuck with it for probably like 5 to 8 years, maybe something like that, something crazy. But yeah, so let's get to the point here. So you're looking at the credit limit is going to be 200 to 700, and then they're claiming that this other card is going to be 200 to 5,000. If you're out there and you have a Premier Bank Card that's $5,000, let us know in the comments, because I don't even believe that. I've never seen one that high on any credit report, and I've looked at thousands of credit reports for over 10 years. So let's scroll down here. It says you're eligible for credit limit increase after 12 months. Your APR on the unsecured credit card is going to be 36%. This is higher than the last credit card that was 35.9% or 35.5 or something like that. And then the other credit card, the secured credit card, is going to be 19.9. Your annual fee is going to be $50 to $125. The secured card is going to have a $50 annual fee. Now, the actual other card that's not secured is going to have a $0 to $10.40 monthly fee just to use the card. The secured card doesn't. Now, you're going to have an account opening requirement of $55 to $95 on the unsecured card. And of course, you're going to have to put $200 down on the secured card. So again, all the reasons why this credit card is trash, stay away from it. All of these credit cards are heavily marketed and pushed by Credit Karma and all of these credit monitoring sites that sell credit cards. If you get one of these in the mail, any of these credit cards in this video, do not accept their offer. Throw it in the mail. Run it through your paper shredder, but do not get any of these. Coming in scorching hot at number 2 is the Open Sky credit card. If you see any YouTuber or any content creators promoting this credit card, they have no moral compass. This is hands down one of the worst credit cards I've ever seen, because even if you try to cancel it right after you possibly signed up for it, you're like, oh my God, never mind, I changed my mind. You should not be charged any annual fees or any fees whatsoever. And what we have seen is, even when people tried to cancel this credit card, they still sent them a credit card, and then they charged the account off for less than $200, destroying someone's credit reports. The Open Sky credit card website looks very deceiving because it looks friendly, and there's something very interesting I saw on the page where it shows a credit score of 735 points with 30 points going up. Are you trying to insinuate that you're gonna raise people's credit score, Open Sky? You know that's illegal, right? But the crazy part about this is nowhere on their website are there any terms and conditions, anywhere that I can find any disclosures about the fees and the interest rates. It literally made me go through the entire application process till I got to the very end fund, and it kept asking me, would you like to fund your card? Would you like to fund your card? No, I don't want to fund it. I had to make up some bogus name so I can get the actual numbers of all the fees they're going to charge you. Now, the annual APR interest fees are going to be 25.64% for the Open Sky credit card. Now, as far as the fees, they're going to charge you a $35 annual fee for absolutely positively nothing. They're going to charge you $40 for a late payment and $40 for a return payment also. Coming in hot at number 1 is Credit One. Now, I actually started off with this credit card and I had so many issues. Again, I was bamboozled. I was tricked by Credit Karma. Now, of course, I've canceled this credit card ever since, but this is one of my oldest credit cards because I had no idea that this was Credit One and not Capital One. Put it up on the screen so everyone can see right here, man. You can see how the similarities of Credit One and Capital One are way too close. How is this even legal? I don't know. But it is 100% legal. So people think that they're banking with Capital One, and then before you know, you're like, oh, what's Credit One? What's Credit One? One of the worst credit cards to ever have in your wallet. They're so bad, they're boasting and bragging about all of these credit cards that they have. They offer up to 10 credit cards, one of them being a credit card that has an American Express logo, and they're bamboozling everyone into believing that they are in the actual American Express family, but you're not. This company will send you emails, they'll send you actual pre-approvals in the mail all the time, convincing you to actually get one of their credit cards because you are pre-approved. Don't fall for it. You'll get stuck with this credit card and regret every moment about it. Just for the Credit One Platinum card, you're gonna be coming in at an interest rate of 29.74%, outrageously high. You're gonna get an annual fee of $75 for the first year, and then after that, $99 annually. But they're gonna break it down for you and bill you $825 per month, so don't you fret, they're gonna break it down for you. That's crazy. You're also gonna get cash advance fees, and you're gonna get a late fee of $39 and a return payment fee of $39. Now, I wonder when this is going to kick into play, when they have to change all of their actual late fees and return payment fees, as the Biden administration reported that they're going to be changing that here. You heard me right. If you have one of these Credit One credit cards with an American Express logo, you are not in the American Express family. If you were truly in the American Express family, you would have access to the American Express portal, and you do not. It is a completely separate portal that they have built that looks similar to it, but it is actually not. This credit card is also infamous for, instead of actually offering you a credit limit increase, they're gonna offer you a second card, and then you get bamboozled and you get stuck into another Credit One credit card that you do not want. And why do you not want all of these low limit credit cards on your credit profile? Because it's going to make you work twice as hard to get to the high limit credit cards. You don't need any of these secured cards. Anybody that tells you, oh, just go get a secured card, you're gonna start building credit, they have no idea what they're talking about. You can build with your credit union. Start to build and establish a relationship with the credit union, and you never have to put any of these secured credit cards on your credit profile ever. Keep the trash off your credit profile and go directly with a large credit union, get a high limit credit card, and now you have established a relationship and you have a high limit credit card as your first credit card on your credit profile, whether you're rebuilding or you're just getting into the credit card game and you're trying to establish credit. So on part 2 here, we're gonna talk about what's gonna happen if you close one of these credit cards. If you close any credit card or you close any account, it's going to have a negative impact on your credit profile, and it will stay on your credit report for up to 10 years. So even if you close it, let's say you got it and then you had it for a month and you closed it, you're like, I don't want that credit card. Guess what? You're stuck with it on your credit report for up to 10 years now. And let's say you have one of these crappy credit cards, you've had it for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, even 10 years. You're like, I just want to close this account and be done with it. Well, if you close the account, you're going to rip away all of that age of credit, and then it's going to close the account, and you can potentially see some type of negative impact on your credit profile. You could possibly lose 5 points, 10 points, 60 points if you close a credit card that has a serious amount of age, or you could possibly have no negative impact. But the people that do have a negative impact can start to see their scores start to slowly rise. Usually about 6 to 9 months, you should get all of those points back. Or what you could do is you can open up a line of credit with a credit union with a high limit, and then as soon as you open that account and it reports, then close the actual bad credit card. So you're going to offset the actual negativity that can happen from closing it because you opened up a high limit credit card and replaced that low limit crappy credit card. But remember, even if you close it, it's going to stay on your credit report for up to 10 years. You have to make a decision eventually. Am I going to continue to pay these monthly fees and annual fees on these crappy credit cards, or do I close them? But if you close them, you're gonna take a hit. It's gonna stay in your credit report for up to 10 years, and then your score will start to rebound if you lose some points within 6 to 9 months. You have to make the adult decision on your own. I unfortunately cannot make that decision for you. The biggest thing that I see when people start to rebuild credit, whether it be after a bankruptcy or after a financial hardship you may have gone through, people think that it's the end of the world and they have to get these crappy credit cards. No, I'm here to tell you, you do not. You can keep these all off your credit profile. You don't need them. Rebuild with a big credit union, establish a relationship, and then get a credit card through them. Especially after a bankruptcy, people think that they can't get any good credit cards, that they have to go with these credit cards. No, you don't. Go with the credit union, and I'm willing to bet you money that they're going to give you a high limit credit card once you establish a relationship and you build that banking relationship. That's what big credit unions are all about. So remember, you don't need crappy credit cards, and be patient. Once you start rebuilding, you're going to get a lot of offers from crappy credit card companies. Do not take them. You want to get to the high limit credit cards. You want to get to the cream of the crop. Stay consistent, stay focused, and don't take the offers. If you want me to drop a video about the best credit cards to have in your wallet for 2024, make sure to comment and tell me, Mike, give us the best credit cards for 2024, and I'll make it happen for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. We brought you a lot of information about what to do with those crappy credit cards. Make sure that you watch the next video, because it is about a credit building credit card that a lot of people don't talk about. And if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.